Welcome to the first ever Swaminar. I'm very excited and happy to have you here with me today. We'll begin with a small chant. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Dev Sarvakareshu Sarvada. First of all, I offer my obeisance to the divine in you, with whose grace we're all here right now, this moment, in this virtual world. Sorry, you'll have to bear with me, I've got sore throat. I'm actually in a very beautiful place by the ocean. And my first thought was to do this live Swaminar outside. And as part of my testing, I spent several hours trying different locations, but nothing really worked. Sometimes because of lighting, other times because of signal or audio, and so on. Finally, I decided to just sit inside and record it here. But tomorrow's Swaminar, which is 9 a.m. Australian time tomorrow morning, I'm going to try outside. There might be some interruptions, I suspect, in terms of people there and so on, but we'll try. Or maybe it might be windy, but we'll try. Anyway, what I've done in this one, I've taken top 10 questions in terms of the number of votes, and I thought we'll go from there. So the first question is by Divyam. He's saying, please tell us about past life experience. And please let us know your experience about your own past life. Why? Don't you have enough burden from this lifetime's experiences that you also want to carry the ones from your past life? You know, it's a fascinating field. Excuse me. It's a fascinating field of study and area of experience to be able to go in your past life and experience or see what you were up to. Maybe you led quite an ordinary life, or maybe it was an extraordinary life. You won't know till you see it. For that, you really need perfection of the posture. Without that, I cannot help you. Because imagine you're traveling through different states of consciousness, and in one lifetime you were, let's say, a rabbit. Imagine you are experiencing your life as a rabbit, munching on carrots, going from one hole into another, and hopping around various fields and farms and so on. At that time, you shift in your existing posture. Now, you will become aware of your human body in this current lifetime, but in the consciousness of that rabbit. What you are going to be like, nobody can predict then. I mean, you can try the visual, having a rabbit brain and tendencies in a human body. Krishna says, Shariram yad vapnoti yupachatta kramatishvara gritvetani sanyati vairugandhani vashyat. Like air takes scent from flowers, similarly, soul takes with it tendencies of one's mind. Tendencies does not necessarily mean memory. When we talk about past life experience, what we want is memory of our past life. That's not necessarily what you may get into unless you perfect your posture and stillness of the mind. Patanjali says, memory is the unmodified collection of our experiences. To tap into your memory, which was beyond this body, you would have to go into the body that you were in at the time that experience happened. Because even though all experiences are registered in the mind, somewhere everything we experience is through the body, whether that's any kind of touch, taste, smell, sight, or sound. It's all through the body. That's what I would tell you in terms of past life experience. I remember Napoleon once, I read it somewhere. Napoleon captured this person in a battle. He won a battle, and this person was the major of an army in Italy. He was originally from Hungary. And Napoleon captured him. Napoleon was talking to him. He reminded Napoleon of another battle which existed before Napoleon was even born. And Napoleon said, "Oh, you've got quite a few years under your belt. How old are you?" And this soldier said, "I don't know, maybe 60 or 70. He said, 60 or 70? Don't you know how old you are? Don't you know how many years old you are?" He said, "My lord, I have kept a track of my horses, my troops, my shirts, my money, because somebody can steal them. But I have not kept an account of my years, because who's going to steal them? They are just passing. They are mine." So keeping track of your past lives, it may feel that way because out of curiosity we want to know more, but it's not actually going to help anybody progress in this spiritual life unless they are able to determine their spiritual path by experiencing their past life, which is really just about the only benefit I see. As far as my own past life, well, I was, am, and will be. That's in a nutshell. Second question is by Saurav. Saurav is saying, referring to a recent case of tragic case of rape of a little girl in India. He's saying, is all our suffering the result of our karma? Yes, somewhere it's true that whatever we go through in life is the result of our karma. But not just our karma, or not just karma. It's also the result of our environment, the circumstances, collective consciousness, governance, other people's karma, your family members' karma, your siblings' karma, and so on. Imagine your sibling is in trouble with the police. The police comes home and they arrest you for some questioning as well. You didn't do anything wrong. It was not your karma, but you've been arrested as well. And that's why, there is great emphasis on compassion and goodness, because just like other people's karma is affecting us, our karma is also going to affect other people. Every little act is somewhere registered. I'm not saying there's a book somebody's writing, but in the play of nature, nothing goes unnoticed, nothing goes unregistered. And somewhere karma or our suffering is also our interpretation. Pain is what we go through based on our karma. Suffering is what we go through based on our attitude towards life. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Suffering is what we go through based on our attitude in life. So the third question is by Puneet. He's saying, how to stay persistent in any sadhana. It's a long journey, so after some time, desperation increases and also frustration comes along with it. Well, the results of any sadhana come only by doing that sadhana. For example, you could listen to somebody who sings beautifully, but if you want to experience the joy of singing, you have to learn it yourself. And if you are going to learn it yourself, you won't be able to sing like a pro from day one or within just a few days. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of effort and energy on your part. That motivation is a matter of self-discipline. That motivation comes from setting small goals in your life, on your path, and continuously reminding yourself where you want to be. If you remind yourself, if you visualize, if you repeatedly see the end goal, you will find it much easier to travel through your journey. And just bear in mind that obstacles are going to be there. Hurdles are going to be there. That's just part of the journey. There was a man, he went to work. He joined a new job. First time ever. He had never worked in his life. Yes, there are people like that. And you know exactly what I mean. So he went there. He worked very hard on Monday. In the evening, he was waiting. His boss would come, his employer, and would give him the money for that day. But nothing materialized. Day 2, he worked. Nothing happened. Day 3, and he said to his wife, 3 days I worked, and my boss hasn't paid me. I don't think there's any money in this job. I better quit. She said, no, just work. Just see for a few more days. 4th day, no pay. 5th day, Friday. And at the end of the day, in the evening, his employer gave him a check for his 5 days of work. He comes home. He says, honey, I figured out. They only pay on Fridays. And now I know I'm only going to work on Fridays. You know, it doesn't work like that. You can't just hope to work the 5th day and receive the payment for all the 5 days. You have to put in that effort to receive the reward. So write down your milestones, see the end goal, see where you want to be. That is going to motivate you. The more you are going to keep your self-discipline, the more motivation you will gain. Because I read somewhere, nothing motivates like success. When you're going to achieve small milestones, you will naturally feel that, okay, I can move on to the bigger ones. 4th question, actually it's not a question, by Sanjana and a few others, just sending love and respects. Well, same to you. My love and respects to you all. 5th is by Ajinkya. He's saying, is there alien life in our universe? And have you experienced them in Samadhi or seen them on earth? What were they like? Are you planning to write science fiction novel of our first alien contact? There are other life forms in this universe. Not just 1, 2, 10 or 20, billions. There are billions of life forms in our universe. To say it's a universe means it's just an infinite vast creation. But there are other and other parallel universes, if you see what I mean. When you are deep in Samadhi, a whole new world opens up. And if I were to keep talking about that world, you would call me either a liar or a nutcase, or you would either believe what I'm saying because you believe in me and you trust me, or you might doubt everything I say. It's much better to experience it yourself. The current scientific progress we are making, or where science is currently, at this point in time, we don't have that technology yet to travel into light years the way we need to experience other life forms. And you asked if I'm going to write another science fiction or any science fiction novel. Well, this whole world is a giant book of science fiction. Please read this world and yourself, and you would enjoy it more. I have no plans of writing such novel at this time. In the future, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Number 6 is by Sandhya, and some related questions on Gayatri Sadhana by Mansi, Nandini, and Uma. So I'm going to cover them quickly. First is within point number 6, for Gayatri Sadhana, is it necessary to do correcting the flaws and infusing life into mantra before doing the 40-day Purushcharana? Well, it's not really needed, but it's always good to do. Please, bear in mind one thing. As I wrote in the book Ancient Science of Mantras, even though mantras require great discipline of the sound and so on, ultimately they are chanted out of devotion. If you feel devotion for your deity, for the energy you're trying to evoke or invoke, you really would not have this question. You know why? Because devotion is like love. When you love somebody, you are always looking at ways, thinking of ways to spend time with that person. All these samskara of the mantras that I've talked about are ways of spending time with that energy. If you really love that energy, if you want to experience that energy, if you want to be one with that energy, you are going to have spent time with that energy. You're going to want to spend time with that energy. So it's not necessary as such, but please don't think of it as just a checklist. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Think of this more as opportunities to do more, to be more with Devi you are trying to invoke. Somebody else asked, can I increase the number of days? That is, if I can't do a particular Purushcharana in 40 days, can I do it in 90 days or more? The short answer is yes. The bit longer answer is, if you are going to take too long, then you would find it hard to maintain all the rules, to keep all the precepts on a daily basis. Somewhere, at some point in time in your sadhana, you are going to have to put in an intense effort. So, yes, you can do it over a longer period of time. Difference between homa, that is havan, and yajna. Homa or havan is a type of yajna. All havans are yajna, but not all yajnas are havan. Havan is simply fire offerings. But yajna could be jnana yajna, like listening to this discourse is a form of jnana yajna. Or yajna could be atiti yajna, hosting somebody, feeding somebody, and so on. So yajna is not just offering fire offerings, making offerings to the fire. That's only one kind of yajna, which is homa or havan. Can I drink the water that I set aside during japa and viniyoga, japa samarpan and viniyoga? No, please don't drink that water. Instead, offer it to the sun or at the root of any plant. Next question is by Tripta. She's saying, I understand that male and female deities are equal. I've seen in stories and art, the female is often depicted as being less than the male, e.g., at the feet. Why is it so? And do you think it's causing patriarchy problems in our society? Well, actually, It's not true. If you see Radha Krishna, you would not see Radha Rani at Krishna's feet. If you see Shiva Parvati, you would not see Parvati at Shiva's feet. If you see any other deity, any other god, goddesses, forms of energies together, you would not see the female at the feet of the male, except in one particular famous prominent picture where you see Vishnu lying down and Lakshmi also sitting by his feet. Now there, please remember, Vishnu is not actually standing. Vishnu is also sitting, in fact, lying down in his famous posture. The question is, why is Lakshmi sitting at his feet then? I think it's better to get them both in the same frame, because Vishnu is sitting like this and hard to capture Lakshmi in the back. I'm just joking. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something beautiful. Vishnu represents purity and divinity. Vishnu represents sattvikta, mode of goodness. Whereas Lakshmi, she represents wealth and opulence. Vishnu is the permanent aspect of this creation, and Lakshmi is the impermanent aspect of the same creation. For example, when a wheel moves, inside the wheel there's a spoke, that axle, that thing, that's stable. The wheel is moving. The maya, the illusion, the energy is moving, but it's held together by that one singular rod or axle that is still, that is not moving around the same way. If somebody is not going to make Vishnu a part of their life, which means sattvikta, which means goodness, they would have trouble holding on to wealth, or that wealth will not bring purity or contentment in their heart. For example, if you see any picture of Lakshmi where she is by herself, almost always she is standing, because her nature is to keep on moving. She moves. But when she is with Vishnu, she is sitting at that moment. So it is to say, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatro Parthor Dharnudaraha Tatra Shvijo Bhutir Dova Nitir Matir Mama. Sanjay says in the end to Dhritarashtra, it's the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Vishnu, memory of Vishnu, there wealth and wisdom and victory are going to stay, because the intent needs to be pure for contentment to be there. So I don't think that visual, that goddess is sitting by the feet, is causing patriarchy problems. I think that's more caused by our rules that we've created in the society and religious scriptures that men wrote with their own agenda, or that got modified over a period of time, and the way the voice of a woman has been curbed and snubbed over centuries and thousands of years, that has led to the current issues that we're facing in the society. But I think we're also making some great progress. More and more women are coming out and speaking about and living their life and and working towards their own dreams and so on. So if each one of us did our bit to make this world a better place, increasingly this will become a better place then. 8th question is by Anitosh. He's saying, I'm an introvert. I feel difficulty to approach people and talk to them. I want to get rid of this. I even feel they don't like me to talk. Except my parents, have no one to talk. Please give me a sadhana. If you want to be interesting so that people talk to you, first be interested in what people want to talk to you about. If anybody wants to come out of their shell of being an introvert, by the way, being an introvert can actually be a matter of great strength. It does not mean that you can't succeed in life, or you are any less, or you don't think as much, or something is missing. In fact, some of the most successful people in life, in material life, have been introverts. So if you want to come out of your introversion, become an active and a very good listener. Because introverts will talk when they are very comfortable, which means the issue is not that they cannot talk. The issue is they can't talk cold. They can't just walk into a forum and start talking or engage in public. So you need to know how to break the ice, and then how to get comfortable. The moment you are cozy and comfortable and warm, feeling warm in somebody's company, you will talk. And to feel that warmth, if you become a good listener, people would like to talk to you. Very simple. If you're approaching somebody just because you have problems, don't expect a lot, because everybody has problems and nobody has time to listen to other people's problems. So most people, if you're going to go to other people and bore them with your problems in life, they would say, avoid this guy. If you're going to go to them and keep talking about all the good you have in your life, they'll say, avoid this guy. Because everybody is looking to be heard. Hear before you speak. Listen to them before you expect them to listen to you. And be interested in them if you want to be interesting for them. Learn how to break the ice. There was a salesman, he was sitting in a plane. He was an introvert, but because of his job, he had to speak. So he was sitting, but very shy of speaking to the person next to him. And the salesperson was reading a book, upside down. The man looked at the book cover and said to him, excuse me, do you always read your books upside down? And the salesman said, oh, actually, it's just the jacket that's upside down. The book is not upside down. And that broke the ice. They got into conversation, they got comfortable, and things progressed from there. So be interested before you want to be interesting. This is the sadhana. Be a good listener. Rather than listening to a mantra, if I was to tell you, do this mantra and that's your sadhana, I would be doing you disservice. Please don't get into all that superstition and blind faith. Mantras are used for entirely different purposes. You could do visualization, you could do meditation where you imagine yourself being a certain way, but above all, try to be a friend to somebody. Just be a good listener, non-judgmental listener, show empathy, and you will have more and more friends. Because two things will get you friends very quickly: empathy and money. With money, of course, friends are going to be temporary. With empathy, friends are going to be longer lasting. 9th question is by Meenakshi. She's saying, I got a guru mantra from a Guruji 16 years back, but since then, I've not met or felt connected with him. Is the guru mantra still relevant to my life? Well, if the guru is not relevant to you anymore, how can the guru mantra be relevant anymore? So no, that mantra is not relevant unless you feel attached to that mantra. Feel free to move on and pick a new mantra. How to choose the path for self-realization? I feel attracted towards mantra sadhana and then feel like doing meditation too, and also Zen way feels good, way of living. Is there a way to choose any of these? Um, whatever path you choose, my recommendation is at least give it the first 1 to 1,500 hours and then move to the next one. And then you will know the answer to this question yourself. The other thing I would strongly recommend, or I would say, there is nothing wrong in sometimes doing Zen meditation and alternating it with chanting and doing contemplative or concentrative meditation. It's perfectly fine. If you are ultimately intensifying your practice, then that's all that matters, really. These are not really different paths as such. These are different ways of doing the same thing. In all of this, you are trying to get in touch with your source. Simple. So feel free to pick any. But if you're thinking that one path is more rapid than the others, that's where trouble comes. People would start one thing, they say, I'm not getting the results, let me try this. Oh, this is not working out for me, let me try something else. Stay in one place and keep digging. When you are digging at one place, you are going to go 100 feet, you will get fresh water, or 200 feet, or 300 feet, or whatever. In between, you can take a break. You can listen to some music. If you're tired of digging that hard work, you can take a break. You can, distract yourself with something different so you feel the energy again. Nothing wrong with that. But don't lose sight of where you need to be and where you want to be, and decide accordingly. And a question by Sandhya. When we all are aware that we are going to leave this body, and when we have experienced life and death through this body millions of times, why are we then failing to identify the truth? And why are we not being one with it? That's what Maya is. The veil of illusion. This illusion that sometimes we give the name of hope, that I am going to be better tomorrow, that my tomorrow is going to be better, that my next lifetime is going to be better, that all my dreams that I've not fulfilled till now, I am going to fulfill them tomorrow. And in doing so, hope always wins over experience. And we forget the experiences we've been through. Somehow we still feel, no, tomorrow is going to be better. And I can somehow be happy by fulfilling all my desires. And we keep going through that cycle of fulfilling our desires and more desires and more desires, hoping that fulfillment of desires will make me happy. But here's the thing, nobody has gained more happiness by gaining happiness. Happiness is not a pursuit. It's something it's the outcome. It's something you get based on what you are doing. People, sometimes people go through abusive relationships or even good relationships, and still they get divorced, and they promise themselves, I'm never going to marry again, I'm never going to be in a relationship again. But a year, 2 years, or 3 years later, they are back in home with somebody, getting married and raising kids and so on. Why? Because hope wins over experience. And in a story in Mahabharata that I've narrated earlier as well a couple of times, a yaksha, a celestial being, captured Yudhishthira. Basically, he killed his brothers, and to bring them back to life, he had to answer some questions. And one of the last questions Yaksha asked Yudhishthira, he said, what do you think is the most strangest thing in this world? And Yudhishthira said, the fact that we're all going to die, and yet we live like we're never going to die. As if death is not for us, but for somebody else, for all the other people. This I find, he said, most strange. If we were to meditate on death, if we were to think of death, living this life would become a mindful affair. attachments won't be so strong then, temptations won't be so wild then, and desires won't be so overpowering then. It's simple as that. And just like a child plays in the sand, makes castles, and then before going home they kick it, break it, or a wave comes and just washes it. But next time they go to the beach, they make the sand castle again. It's something like that. We all begin from the beginning. In every lifetime we carry certain, of course, skills or not skills, tendencies with us. But that joy of building and breaking is what makes this life what it is. Last one, what is Swaminar? What is a Swaminar? Well, this is a Swaminar. It's a question by Samantha. Swaminar, I coined this term from the word seminar and webinar. Combine that, and since I'm a Swami, so I made that into Swaminar. Swaminar is our live interaction where you can submit a question beforehand, and then I address some of the top voted questions. I plan to do it once every month, 2 Swaminars every month, one for each time zone, like one for North America and that part of the world, and the other for India and that part of the world, and similar time zones. So today was the first ever Swaminar. Tomorrow is going to be another one for North American time zone. So that's that. I hope it was of some use to you, and I think I've spoken more than 37 minutes or something. So thank you very much for joining me. It was lovely. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and you got something out of it. I'll see you again. If some of you are joining me tomorrow, I'll see you again tomorrow, or in my Swaminar in next month sometime, which will publish on Black Lotus app. Thank you very much. Wish you all a great day, morning, evening, night, whatever time zone you happen to be in. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.